One of the most exciting things about working in Vegas Movie Studio HD Platinum 11 is the ability to work with and create 3D projects. So let's take a look at the 3D tools. Now, when you first start a 3D project, it looks no different than a 2D project. So the first thing you need to do is to let Vegas Movie Studio know that you're working in 3D. And to do that, choose Project, Properties, and on the Video tab of the Project Properties dialog box, choose the Stereoscopic 3D mode that you want to work in. Now, the anaglyphic red cyan mode is the mode that's probably most flexible because you can view that kind of 3D footage on virtually any TV screen or computer screen. And it's the type that uses the white paper glasses with the red lens and the blue lens that you've probably all seen. So that's what I'm going to choose here, and I'm going to work in that mode. Once you've chosen your mode, click OK. Now you're in 3D. And you can start adding your 3D files, and I've got a few files up here. Now, there are a couple of different ways that those 3D files could come to you. For instance, with the 3D Bloggy cameras from Sony, you have two lenses on the camera, and those two lenses capture simultaneous images and save them to a single file. The left half of the file holds the left image and the right. So that single file then you can add to Vegas Movie Studio. So let's go ahead and add it to our project. And as soon as we do, Vegas Movie Studio recognizes it as a 3D file, and in the video preview window you see the sort of telltale blue and red shading of an anaglyphic piece of footage. And once it's there, you could do whatever you want to do with it. Any edit that you know how to make in 2D, you can make in 3D. So I can trim the edges and I can add fade in and fade out and so forth. So if you've got footage from something like the 3D Bloggy that comes in as one file, you can just drop it in your timeline and get to work. Now, another common way of creating 3D is to take two cameras, mount them side by side, and shoot both of them simultaneously. And when you do that, you end up with two separate files containing the images from the left and the right. And we can work with that type of footage too. So let's go ahead and add that. I've got two files like that here. I've got the airplane taxiing left and the airplane taxiing right. So the first thing I'm going to do is to add the left file. And notice that I'm not putting it on the bottom track of my project. I'm leaving one video track open. The reason I'm doing that is because I'm going to add the right file to that open track. Now this time I'm going to use my right mouse button as I drag it down to the timeline, and when I release the right mouse button, it brings up a couple of options, and I'm going to say, give me the video only, and add it across time. This way I'm not duplicating this audio track. I'm using just the audio from the left eye track. Now both of the clips are in the timeline, and if I put the cursor in here, you see that it does not look 3D. Vegas Movie Studio is just recognizing it as a standard 2D file, so we need to combine these into a 3D clip. To do that, I've already got the top one selected. Hold down the Control key and select the bottom one. Then right-click either one of those selected clips and choose Pair as Stereoscopic 3D Subclip. When you do that, it combines them into one event that holds both streams of video, and the video preview window shows that you have that stereoscopic anaglyphic look. Now, one of the challenges with working that way, working with two separate files from two separate cameras, is that those cameras have to be perfectly aligned for things to work right, and that's pretty difficult to do. So what we've done is we've included another tool that can help you solve any alignment problems that you might have. So let me just find a good frame here that's representative of the issue that you could be facing. So here we've got the plane coming straight at us, and if you look at it, you can see the blue image extends to the right of where the red image is. Well, that's perfectly acceptable. In fact, that horizontal offset is exactly what creates the 3D effect. So that's good. But what's not good is you can see that the blue image is slightly above the red image. And that vertical offset is bad. It harms our 3D. And there could also be things like the cameras not being perfectly zoomed in the same amount, or one of them was pointing off a little bit, and so forth. And these kind of problems can hamper the 3D. So we need a way to fix that. And what we've done is we've included a new video effect. So click the Video Effects tab and choose the Stereoscopic 3D Adjust filter. Drop the default preset onto the clip, and here are the tools. Now here's the horizontal offset that we talked about. That's desirable. and we can change it if we want to change the depth of the image and so forth. But we need a way to fix the vertical offset and other problems, and you'll find those tools under the Corrections tab. So click the Corrections drop-down list, and here are various tools that you can use to correct those problems. Now, the best thing to do, in my opinion, is to just start out by clicking the autocorrect button. So go ahead, click the autocorrect button. Now, what Vegas Movie Studio is doing is it's analyzing the video and comparing points from the left eye clip to the right eye clip and matching them up. And when it does that, in a moment you're going to see that it made some adjustments here. And you can see that although there's still a little bit of overhang horizontally, because remember that's adjusted here and that's what we want, you can see that there's no more vertical offset. It's been brought into alignment vertically. And if you check the numbers over here, you can see that it changed every one of these settings: the vertical offset, the zoom, the keystone, the rotation. All of them were changed slightly to fix any alignment problems between those two cameras. If you don't like the results of the autocorrect, or it isn't just quite right, you can come back in here and you can tweak them out however you need to or feel like you need to. Okay, so very powerful correction tools to make sure that everything looks right. All right, once you've got that in your timeline, you can just edit it just like any other 2D clip. You could then bring it down to the next track and move it over, create a crossfade between the one that you did earlier and this one, so that you've got a crossfade going here, and so forth. And if you had a pair of anaglyphic cyan red glasses on right now, you'd be able to see the image here on my screen is in 3D. Okay, so once you're done editing your project, you need to deliver your 3D project. And of course, we've got you covered there too. Click the Make Movie button. And just like with a 2D project, you can upload it to YouTube, you can save it to your hard drive or your camera and so forth. Let's take a look at how you would burn it to a DVD or a Blu-ray disc. Click the Burn it to a DVD or Blu-ray disc button. It brings up the wizard. And in this case, we're just going to create a Blu-ray disc that does not have a menu structure. So I'll select the Blu-ray disc radio button and click Next. Now, all of these parameters are set automatically given the choices we made just a moment ago. And you'll notice that we're going to be creating a Sony AVC MVC file using the MVC 1287 2060p video template, meaning we're going to be creating a high-definition Blu-ray disc. You can change all of these other parameters if you need to. Set your file path, choose your burner from the burn drive list, and your burn speed, and then click OK. Now, I don't have a burner on my machine here, but if I did, I would click OK, and it would burn the project, and we'd end up with a high-definition Blu-ray 3D disc. So you can see that the stereoscopic 3D tools inside Vegas Movie Studio HD Platinum 11 are really powerful and pretty simple to use. And so if you're working with 3D, you can create those projects right here in Vegas Movie Studio HD Platinum.